Hey guys, what's up? It's Jay and welcome back to another video. Now, because you guys loved the toolbox tour or overview, I guess, so much, I decided to kind of step into doing a little more tool related videos. So today, what I'm going to be doing is looking at the Snap On CT761 3/8 cordless impact driver and comparing it to the Milwaukee Fuel 2454 obviously impact 3/8 of the same thing. Now, right off the bat, I want to tell you that these are both very good impact guns, and depending on budgetary concerns, this one is $200 more than this one. The Milwaukee M12 system comes in at $270 for the tool that comes with two of the M12 2-amp-hour batteries, as well as the charging dock. That felt a little loose. Whereas this one retails for $470, also comes with the Snap-on charger and two of the 14.4 volt 2-amp-hour batteries. So right off the bat, $200 more. This one's got a good warranty. This one's got a better warranty, but obviously you would hope that neither of them need the warranty to go into effect. So first things I want to do is just kind of go over the look and the feel and the ergonomics of each impact gun with a quick overview. First of all, as you can see, the Snap-on does stand up by itself, as well as the Milwaukee. Let me zoom out. If you do want to use this and have them laying down, but obviously most of the time they're going to be laying down. You know, I've had the Milwaukee for a little bit longer, so you can see that this one has a couple little battle scars, but you know, nothing that hinders the performance of the overall tool. The only thing is, with the Milwaukee system being an M12, you can use the M12 4.0 battery. However, I think it just kind of makes it look a little funny. But obviously, if you do have that, it will stand up by itself too. But this battery came with a different tool, so I just wanted to show you guys that. So let's start off with ergonomics and weight. First of all, the Snap On CT761 comes in at 2.5 pounds, while the Milwaukee alternative comes in at 2.4 pounds. Obviously, you can't feel a 1 pound or 0.1 pound difference between the two. The Milwaukee does have kind of a curved grip and kind of an ergonomic back. Does make it feel very good in your hand. It does have just a one pull trigger, which is pressure sensitive, but the forwards and reverse can be kind of tricky to use. You know, it's kind of like a drill switch. And the thing is if you have it in reverse and you don't want to come completely off the trigger and you want to just kind of, I can't get it all the way in, you know, that would lock it. So I actually have to move the hand to push it all the way through to get it to tighten back up. So that's just a small thing. But in retrospect, when you take your finger off the trigger of the Milwaukee, the LED light stays on for a little while. There you go, just went off. So that if you're doing something, you know, you can still kind of see what you're doing even after you've taken your finger off the trigger. Now the Snap-on is a little bit slimmer. It does just have a smaller profile design and a thinner grip overall, but one of the kind of things that people write home about this Snap-on is the you know, the trigger that toggles. So obviously, see, the up trigger tightens, the down trigger lowers, and they are also pressure sensitive. As you can see, as you apply more pressure, it changes the revs per minute. The Milwaukee battery sensor gives you a 1 through 4, while the Snap-on gives you green, orange, red on that small LED. So that's kind of the basic overview of the ergonomics. I really like them both. The Milwaukee feels a little bit more top heavy, to be honest, but you know, I would say just barely this one, because I feel like the weight is more balanced. I feel like the battery's a little bit heavier and there's more weight on the bottom, which makes this feel more like a balanced tool. And actually, you know, as I kind of, if I rock it in my hand, most of the weight feels like it's on the bottom, whereas the Milwaukee's very top heavy. If I was to kind of give it the same rocking sensation, the bottom is very light and a lot of the weight is up here in the top. So just based on that for ergonomics and fit and feel, I think I'm gonna award the Snap On the winner of round 1, but there is much more to come. The funny thing is Milwaukee actually advertises this as 1,400 inch-pounds of power on their website, which is kind of snaky to do, honestly, because you see that 1,400 and usually tools of this size and this nature are measured in foot-pounds. The Snap-on quite clearly advertises it as having 120 foot-pounds of torque power, whereas Milwaukee hits it with the 1,400 inch-pounds, which converts to about 116, 117 foot-pounds. So, you know, they're very similar in power, supposedly. The Snap-on uses a 14.4 volt system rather than the 12 volt system that the Milwaukee uses. And to that end, they are very similar in power. Now, it's been reported that the Snap-on does have a tiny bit more power when it comes to break-off power and things of that nature. I actually used this Milwaukee, or tried to use this Milwaukee last week when installing my running boards on the new Ram, and this Milwaukee did not have enough power to take off the cab bolts for the support brace in the running boards. Ironically though, the funny thing is this Ingersoll Rand air gun also didn't have enough power to even take out the cab bolts. So what I ended up doing is borrowing a 1/2-inch drive Milwaukee electric ratchet that had like 1,100 foot-pounds of takeoff power, and that made quick work of it. Now, I will be doing a review video of that Milwaukee tool in the future, so if you do enjoy these kind of tool reviews, tool videos, stuff of that nature, do make sure to subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss anything. Anyway, on with the video. So, takeoff power, I didn't try this out with the same bolts because it's absolutely pissing with rain today, but from pretty much 100% of the reviews, you can expect a slightly greater power output from the Snap-on, and you know, that just is what it is. Which brings us to a conclusion of round 2, which I believe I'm also going to give to the Snap On CT761. Now that brings us quickly into round 3, and round 3 is gonna be value for money versus price. Now, obviously, like I said in the very beginning, the Snap-on is about $200 retail more than the Milwaukee. I got this one for about $360. Brand new, so you know you can negotiate and you can find deals out there, which only makes it $100 more than this one. And I think at that price point I would have stuck with the Snap-on. I think for $200 more it would be a hard bargain to say that the Snap-on has $200 more worth of value, and for the typical MSRP price, to be honest with you, I would have to say that the Milwaukee does take the cake in the value spectrum, because, you know, for $270 it is a great tool, and it would be a mechanic's friend at that price. Now, there are other things to consider: what battery ecosystem you're already in. Obviously I'm in both now, and the nice thing about staying in one ecosystem is obviously I have these other Milwaukee tools that use the same battery, and you can literally just, you know, swap and trade them out and they all work. So to that extent, you know, there is some value in staying in the same ecosystem, but to me it's not really a big deal to have 2 chargers. I have all kinds of chargers for various things, you know, iPads, tablets, you know, some stuff takes USB, some stuff, iPhones take a different charger. So to me, having a different battery ecosystem for this wasn't that big of a deal, because this is a tool I've been looking at for quite a long time and kind of had my eye on for quite a long time. So for me, this was more of a purchase of passion than anything. Plus, you know, I wanted to do a review of these 2 systems. I would love to give you guys a live comparison of these two, trying to take out those cab bolts if it wasn't raining. But since it's raining, I'm going to refer you to Justin Sturgill's trucking channel, and I'll put a link to his video doing a similar comparison to this in the description, so you guys can check out his video too. But so let's come to a conclusion between these two, not performing any on-camera tests, but just based off my experience with both of the impact guns. I would say, honestly, I'm biased towards the Snap-on because I just personally prefer it, but bias aside, if you're already in the Milwaukee M12 ecosystem, this 3/8" ratchet will do you very well, I think. There's a couple nuances, you know, with the trigger and with the reverse and back and forth that I don't really like, and the fact that it's kind of top heavy is one of the things I don't like, but it is a great price, you know, MSRP $200 cheaper than the Snap-on. And like I said, you can stay in that same M12 battery ecosystem. I think this will be a very good wrench. However, on the flip side of that, and just being matter of fact and frank, I live in reality, but if you're a Snap-on fanboy, or you know, you're financing these through your Snap-on truck or dealer, or you're in the Snap-on 14.4 ecosystem, I would absolutely say that you will not go wrong spending the extra money on the CT761. Now, I have both, so it is what it is. But how do I explain this? You can't really go wrong either way. If I was purchasing my first electric 3/8 impact wrench and I was going between these two, it really depends on the finance. If I could afford it, I would obviously go with the Snap-on. But if I was just starting out as a new tech, or you know, I just didn't want to spend the money, I wanted to get the best bang for the buck, I think the Milwaukee would win it. It's kind of like, I guess I would compare it to like a BMW and like a Camry. You know, this one's got a better name, it's a little bit nicer, you know, the fit and finish feels a little bit tighter, and the weight and the balance of it is overall better. But the Camry is also a very reliable vehicle that, you know, will last you a long time as well. So I wish I could give you guys a more definitive answer, like one of these is terrible and one is amazing, but they really are very close. And you know, like I said, my personal bias goes with the Snap-on just because I love it. However, I have other Milwaukee M12 tools that I am going to keep and use, because this one, the electric 3/8 ratchet, I prefer this over the Snap-on version. So it just goes back and forth kind of. And then I'm also going to be doing that video on the 1/2" drive Milwaukee, which I think is actually leagues better than the 1/2" drive Snap-on alternative. So like I said, keep an eye out for those videos. And again, I would invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. But I think on this one, I'm going to go with the Snap-on, but that may not always be the case. So continue to watch. Leave your comments below on what you guys think between these two. Again, please do check out Justin Sturgill's video. He is an absolute Snap-on junkie, and he has an interesting opinion on these two impact wrenches as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next video.